Hey guys, it's Katie at scrappinkaty.com, where I show you how to preserve your family's memories through the art of scrapbooking. Today's video is documenting our 23rd anniversary and our $10,000 cookies, so stay tuned for that little story. I will be using the Dream Maker collection. It's brand new and it is a special that is going on right now through the end of June. And I will be adapting a sketch from the 8.5 by 11 sketchbook from the creative design team. So what I have in front of me is the specialty cardstock and my photos that I'll be using. Now this Dream Maker specialty cardstock has a marbled look to it and it comes in several colors, but I need to decide which color I'm going to use on my layout. The best way to do that is just put my photos up against those colors. Now you can see the blue in the cookies, so right off the bat the lagoon and the glacier are out. I'm going to put those aside and then kind of try out these other colors. I'm kind of liking the ballerina color, and then I'm going to pull in these other photos that I'm going to be using. And then I'm also kind of liking the rose color. It's just kind of deep. Now the periwinkle, I'm really kind of liking that. It goes with my gray. And then I really like the sunflower, even though those cookies that I've enlarged are not yellow. They look yellow in the photo after I kind of brightened them up a bit. I've decided on these two and just trying to decide which one, and periwinkle is the winner. I think it just kind of softens up the entire layout. For the majority of this layout, because I am using an 8.5 by 11 sketch, I am going to mount that on white daisy cardstock, but I don't want just stark white. So the Dream Maker collection comes with 4 little mini stencils. They're 6 by 6, so I am just going to stack a couple of stencils on top of each other using the periwinkle ink and the melon ink. I've already put down that graph stencil with the periwinkle, and then I'm just going over it with the melon ink, and there is this dot. It's really not polka dot per se, but it definitely has a dot pattern to it. I am repeating that on the right side, but this one is going to be in the top right corner. Now to hide that stark line, I'm going to make sure that my melon dots really are darker over that harsh edge of the periwinkle graph. So I've done that. One thing I love about stenciling and ink, it is dry, so I immediately can start building my layout. Now, if you do have our sketchbook, this sketch can be found on page 15 if you want to follow along, and let me know what you think about this adaptation to a 12 by 12 layout. So you can see that I've just kind of laid everything down, and then I'm going to start adhering my photos. Now this left side has 2 4 by 4 square photos and then 3 little 2 by 2s. Now, like I said in the beginning, I am documenting our 23rd anniversary and our $10,000 cookies. Now, I didn't actually pay $10,000 for these cookies, but fun story is from my town, there is a local baker, and she actually applied and got on a few years ago to the Christmas Cookie Bake Off on the Food Network. And you know, where you have several bakers and you're given challenges and they have to make these adorable cookies based on the challenges. And she actually won. And it was just the neatest little thing for our little town. So she won $10,000 from the Food Network. And then also Small World, her husband at the time was a vice principal at our daughter's little elementary school. So that was really fun to just kind of relive that moment and celebrate with them. So on the right layout, if you're looking at the sketch, it basically is the same with just a little bit of a difference in that kind of watered down polka dot pattern that I'm using. So I've just glued down my 4 by 6, and now I'm looking through the Cossette PML cards. Now PML cards are 4 by 6 and 3 by 4. They're meant for pocket scrapbooking. But if you follow me here, you know that I like to just use them in my traditional. I'm thinking that that 4x6 piece that says notes, I'm going to go ahead and jot down what all these cookies mean to us. They have significant meaning, and I just told the baker what I wanted, super random. And, you know, I kind of had to tell her that since it was our anniversary, these cookies just kind of indicated various things over the last 23 years. She was a sport and she did really well with them. So in the sketch, there are these little tags that kind of stick out behind two of the photos. So I've pulled out the buildable tags thin cut, and I already had some tags cut, which win-win. I didn't have to go to my die cut machine. So I think I'm going to use this larger one on this layout, and then I'll use one of the smaller ones on the left layout. I definitely want these tags to pop. They're not actually going to say anything or do anything other than be an anchoring spot for little embellishment clusters. So I've taken that periwinkle ink. I know it looks kind of blue here, but I'm just sponging over the top of those because I will end up cutting them and tucking them behind the photos. So I've cut those, I'm going to clean that off, and then I'm going to start building this little area behind this 4x6. So to build this little area, there is a zip strip from the Dream Maker collection, and there is these little sayings, or there are these little sayings. So I'm just cutting the ones that I think I want, which there's bring happiness, laugh often, love big, spread sunshine, just stuff that reminds me not only of my husband, our relationship, but also these days eating these cookies, which, disclaimer, we did not eat these cookies all in one day. So that's why you kind of see various little scenes, I guess, in the little 2x2s where we actually ate these. So if you know me, you know that any tag that I have, something has to be in the hole. And so I don't want to really bring in ribbon. I'm trying to stay away from the colors of Dream Maker because they don't really truly match my photos. So that little typewriter PML card, I really liked that color and how it blended in. So I just cut a thin strip, dovetailed the ends, and tucked it in behind. And then I am using some stickers from a special a couple of months ago. And I am just peeling some of those off and also using those to decorate. So now I'm going to adhere these little zip strip sentiments. So this bottom one says spread sunshine, and then the top one, which is the little one, says love big. And then I'm going to use liquid adhesive to adhere the top of that tag, and then go ahead and put some 3D foam tape behind that little top tail just to kind of add some dimension. I do look at the sticker sheet again. There are some more stickers on there that I just really, really love, but in the end, I only find one other sticker, I believe, to put on this layout. I'm going to pull out the left side of the layout and start that little tag cluster. Again, the same thing. I'm going to cut just a small strip of paper from that PML card, dovetail the ends, and kind of decide how far I want those to stick out, and then attach those zip strip sentiments. These say bring happiness, which I will alter at the end of this video, so stay tuned, and laugh often. So that's really what we try to do. You know, if you've been married for 23 years or been together for that long, then, you know that it's, you have to laugh sometimes. You just have to laugh at yourself. You have to laugh at your partner. It just makes life a whole lot easier. And definitely he keeps me laughing. Here is the sticker sheet for Dream Maker, and then I also pulled out the black chipboard pieces that I'll end up adding here in just a second. So this little sticker right here says this. So I know that that's kind of like an obligatory sticker. One word sentence, just this, like all of this. And that's what I meant it to be. So I really love that. And then I'm tucking in some of those chipboard pieces. This is one of those things, you've heard me say this over and over and over again, that I just really wish I could see the editing before deciding not to do something, because sometimes it's in the editing that I realize, oh, you should have left that there. So I'm pulling out these word sentiments. They are from Documented a long time ago. They already have stickiness to them. So I've added them to wax paper so I can kind of move them around. And I've brought out the Dream Maker stamp set. I really, really, really want to use that always, but I can't find a place for it. And then there's this tiny little stamp set that I use for the back of my cards, and it has just this little row of hearts. So I'm going to ink that up in Capri ink to match the icing on our cookies, and just stamp that various places on this layout, on the tags, kind of here and there, and then definitely in the corners around the stenciling. So back to the title. So I've had the love story in the wood, and so I've decided to put that down at the bottom right, even though the sketch calls for it in a different place. I really like it down here. And then I want to add 23-year love story. So I've pulled out my little organizational bins that have all my acrylic and wood numbers and letters, and so I am just grabbing the 23 and the Y and the R. I'll put those up, and then you can see that they're different colors. So I'm going to actually sponge some toffee ink on these. I will just use my sponge, and again toffee ink, and sponge the 23 and the YR. And then I'm also going to take and I'm going to sponge the love story because they're still kind of a different color. So I'm really liking how they pretty much match here. So now I'm going to start laying these down. I'm going to use liquid adhesive. You could also use glue dots. Glue dots work really well with our wood or acrylic shapes, numbers, letters, whatever. So again, liquid glass, and I love that this title is on this wax paper, so I can pull it back and forth and decide where I wanted this to go. Because, I mean, let's be honest, sometimes you forget, right? So I'm just going to get this adhered down, and then I'm going to start with some more of those black chipboard pieces from the Dream Maker. Now, what I love about the black chipboard pieces is they are just such a dark paper board, and I just love that starkness. So on each side of this little PML card where it says notes, I'm going to add these tiny hearts. I'm just applying little beads of liquid adhesive down onto my project, and then I'm using my pickup tool to pick those little hearts up out of my little container. You can see how easy that is. So there's 2 hearts there, and then I'm going to use a larger heart over there by my title, tucked in right there to the right of the word love. And then, like I always do with these black chipboard pieces, I'm going to take my white gel pen and just kind of add some doodles around the hearts, as well as that little piece that says notes. I'm still playing around with whether I want to use that PML card to hide my journaling, so we'll see. So up above that little sentiment that says bring happiness, I have cut apart a stamp just so I can have you. I've inked it up in nectarine, so now it actually says you bring happiness, because it just really wasn't making sense just with bring happiness. So I'm happy with that, and then I am basically going to mess with the bottom part of the stencil. I just feel like it needs something more even after those little heart stamped. So I've pulled out the Dream Maker stamp set again, and there is this sentiment that says happy. So I want it kind of tone on tone. So I've pulled out my periwinkle ink, and I am just stamping that down in like little stacked staircase, I guess, sentiments, 3 and 2. And right here it's really bright. But when you see my photos on Instagram and Facebook after you watch this video, you'll see that it really blended in well, and I'm really, really liking it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, all the products that I use will be linked below, especially the Dream Maker collection. It is a special right now, and you can purchase that through the end of June. And then I will also leave links down below to the sketchbook, the Creative Design Team sketchbook, so you can go ahead and purchase that. We've done several videos on each of our YouTube channels, as well as the creative design team collab last week. I'll leave playlist links to that so you can go check it out. Even if you're not an 8.5 by 11 scrapbooker, you can see here that you can easily adapt them to 12 by 12. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. You guys have a wonderful week.